Finished Half-Life Alyx and hungry for more new VR games? Here's what's new and on the way in 2021. While we're still not at the Ready Player One stage just yet, there's never been a better time to get into virtual reality gaming. The release of Half-Life Alyx last year and the continued release of better and cheaper headsets means that it's easier than ever to disappear inside games. Oh, and speaking of, so we don't disappear for you, remember to hit subscribe and the notification bell to make sure you never miss a feature from us. For now though, let's look at the best excuses to buy a VR headset this year with the best new and upcoming games in 2021. Sadly, other than my first entry, nothing has confirmed release dates just yet, but don't worry, they're coming. So the reason Star Wars Squadrons has a confirmed release date? Well, it's already out, but we didn't want you to miss out on such a spectacular use of VR that brings the Star Wars universe to life in such an immersive way. Sure, you can play with a flat screen, but pop on your headset, and firing lasers hasn't been this much fun since you were 7, hopped up on ice cream, and went to Quasar for the first time. Whether you're starfighting across the impressive campaign or in the deadly multiplayer mode, this is a flight experience that takes time to perfect and makes you feel like a true Star Wars pilot.
Don't blow up back there!
VR also means you can effortlessly feel the sheer scale of each TIE Fighter and Star Destroyer, and the control setup means you can genuinely become a master of your craft. Yes, pun intended entirely.
Echo Squadron, let's get in position and escort these transports.
Sometimes it's important to sit back and think about the opportunities that VR gives us. The chance to experience incredible worlds, to be superheroes, to wield lightsabers, to tell cars when to stop and go. Traffic Jams is on the way early this year, and stick with me because this looks kind of incredible. Sure, your main job is to indicate when it's okay for eager drivers to slam their pedals to the metal, but you'll also be responsible for letting pedestrians cross, annihilating zombies, throwing frisbees to pop balloons, and putting out fires. In fact, it really feels like this traffic cop should get a serious pay rise. Then there's also the fact that you can play multiplayer with friends. All they'll need is their phones to cause absolute chaos in your perfectly organised city. Complete with a to-do list of absurd tasks, Traffic Jam looks, well, unstoppable. If you've played Arizona Sunshine, you'll know that Vertigo Games is pretty good at setting a nasty apocalypse on humanity. After the Fall then brings a different kind of end-of-the-world energy. Instead of hordes of zombies, this time we're facing the Snowbreed, the monstrous result of what happened when Los Angeles got as excited about designer drugs as it did about plastic surgery. 20 years on, and these freezing creatures have managed to collapse pretty much all of civilization. But the good news is that you appear to be immune to the deadly substances. This means exploring an alternate reality 1980s while battling evil monsters with all manner of weaponry in your own unique combat style. Whether you like to murder up close and personal or keep your bullety distance, After the Fall lets you choose your own way to survive. Oh, and did we mention you can play with 4 people? The end of the world is far better with friends, after all. The Climb from Crytek was one of those VR experiences that you used to immediately convince your friends and family of the joys of virtual reality. Or at least the joys of vertigo-inducing clambers up sheer cliff faces and discovering a fresh fear of heights when they really didn't bother you before. The Climb 2, then, is much more of the same. Even more perilous scrambles up terrifying mountains with glorious views that you could choose to take in if you weren't just trying to ignore the sick feeling in your stomach. And if you can't stop watching those heart-stopping free-running videos across skyscrapers, you can try your shaking hand at Metropolis climbing with a new city setting. This Don't Look Down a map will deliver 15 new maps when it arrives this year, and you can even race your friends in challenges. If you can open your eyes, that is. No, you haven't read it wrong. That Myst, the almost mythical, should we say mystical, puzzler has been fully rebuilt for VR on PC. It's already out on Oculus Quest, but the PC build is coming this year and we can't wait to go back to this stone-cold classic from Cyan Worlds. If you don't know Myst, maybe because like me you weren't alive in 1993, this is a brain-teasing journey across an atmospheric island of endless puzzles. Now in fully 3D form with levers to pull and doors to open instead of the point-and-click nature of its original iteration, this version still looks like it packs a mental punch. The Quest version doesn't have a note system, but Cyan World says an update will be coming to help you with the brain work. Oh, and even if you played the original, a randomizer is at work to make sure you can't cheat. Sorry. If we're being honest, Cooking Simulator in non-VR form is already tricky enough, but we're hoping that actually being able to hold the utensils might improve matters somewhat. If access to more than 140 perfectly laid out ingredients, 80 tools to play with, and the mention of realistic physics doesn't make you want to hide under a kitchen unit, then Cooking Simulator VR is for you. Just like the original, you're going to be faced with slicing, dicing, and sautéing for some seriously harsh critics. The difference between a perfectly cooked soup or steak is going to be your proficiency with a professional kitchen, and if we're honest, that's never worked out very well for us in the past.
Perfect.
Although, look at this tasting mechanic. Maybe this time we won't feel like we're in a VR version of Nailed It. It's time to get indie. Yes, Eye of the Temple is from an independent developer, but we mean of the Jones variety. A little sooner than the latest Bethesda announcement, this rip-roaring adventure hands you a whip and commands you to survive the perilous traps of, well, a temple, filled with dozens of ways to murder intrepid adventurers. While the full game will be available later this year, you can already try Eye of the Temple First Steps for free on Steam as a tease of the dangers to come. Whether you're wrapping your whip around switches, disposing of local wildlife, or making the most of this satisfying torch lighting mechanic, Eye of the Temple is a puzzling delight. And it might not be Beat Saber, but this is a serious workout too. You'll need to keep your balance on rolling rocks, dodge traps, and generally worry about your life at all times. Just try to make sure you don't end up in a museum. If you've not been able to sleep properly without hearing the dulcet tones of Sniper Elite's Carl Fairborn since the 4th installment back in 2017, we understand.
You're damn right.
There's just something so reassuring about Carl's grizzled patience when it comes to waiting for that perfect opportunity for an X-ray kill cam. Well, we've been patiently waiting for Sniper Elite VR, and 2021 is finally the year we'll get to feel what it's all like from a first-person perspective. And while it'll be lovely to pick up Carl's trusty rifle, we've also got authentic pistols, machine guns, and even grenades to try for size as we sneak through a full new campaign. Well, less sneaking when we're making things go boom, but this sniping sim has full free movement to help us feel even more at home in Italy in 1943. Okay, Carl, where were we? Being patient. Right. You might remember our mention of the wonderful A Fisherman's Tale in our Best VR Games of 2019 list. Don't hit the link on screen just yet, but it was an endlessly inventive surprise with layers of Inception-like model puzzling. This means we're really excited about what's coming next from the same development team. Maskmaker escapes the lighthouse for a full 3D world of fluttering flags and mystery as we explore as a, unsurprisingly, maker of masks. We'll have a workshop to call our own, but we'll need resources and special items to construct each special mask. Puzzles await in this dark fairy tale with Inner Space VR promising grand, open-ended environments called biomes and an emotional story at the heart of it all. We haven't seen much, but we can't wait. Finally, it's time to be afraid. Very afraid. If horror experiences are what makes you feel truly alive, then Wraith, the Oblivion Afterlife might be right up your haunted street. Set in the World of Darkness universe, this is a trip to the frankly terrifying-looking Barclay Mansion, where you'll use your powers as a Wraith to uncover the secrets of the house. But just because you have supernatural abilities doesn't mean you don't have anything to be afraid of. Despite being able to walk through walls, we'll still have to hide from sinister beings known as spectres as we unravel the story at work. Throw in the fact that modern Hollywood is the background to the story, and we're very intrigued. And scared. Mostly the latter. So that's the 10 VR games you need to look out for this year. What are you most excited about? Let us know in the comments below. Drop us a like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this one. And if you do already subscribe, thank you. Don't forget to ring the notification bell. It'll mean you'll never miss a new feature. Well, you might if you're in VR, but don't worry, we'll be here when you get out.